Welcome to your online video recap in association with thestanard.com.
Hi Mike, lovely to meet you up at the range and do some work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key points that we covered. Really it was to do with the start of your golf swing. Everything really fell apart in the early part. The club face rolling very much open and behind you. So you can see there at waist level, the club face in a very open position in relation to the arc of the swing. Also here we can see a little bit of daylight where the left arm is starting to come away from the rib cage, so the left arm is working a little bit too much out in front of you, which is typical of somebody who's rolled that club in behind. From there you're sort of fighting a losing battle. You're going to lift it to the top, and then there's a throwing of the club outwards in an attempt to prevent the ball going to the right. And as we suggested, if you swing the club out in that manner, so there's a very much leftward move through impact, you can see there the club face very, very open coming into the golf ball with a path that's going to the left. So you can see that club face position dictates the starting line of the shot, and it's the path of the golf club that then puts the bend on it. So these balls were going very high and curving a long way to the right. Just take you back down to where the shaft's parallel with the ground during the takeaway. We then talked about what should be happening. The back of the left hand should be rotating less. That will get the arms working on more of an inward path and allow the club to stay squarer to the arc during the early part of the swing. Arms in, club face hasn't rotated. So the governing factor here is what the back of the left hand is doing. The back of your left hand rotates too much too soon. The key thought for you was to keep the rotation of the left hand to a minimum during the takeaway, and the effect that has, you can see here now, club rolls behind you less, so that waist level, the club now is less open to the arc. The arms are in more, which then has a knock-on effect. If we watch the way you finish the swing, because the arms have disconnected from the torso, the backswing gets a little bit long and loose, whereas now we get a much more solid look to the top of the backswing. Elbow more on plane, arms more on plane, club face under much more control. From there, the tendency is still to want to make that swing to the left, but what we've just done now is turned you in from a big slicer of a golf ball to less of a slicer of the golf ball. Ultimately, we want to see this club working a little bit more from this position to this position so that we can attack the ball from the inside. But I think a realistic goal initially is to just make you a better version of the golfer that pitched up on the range during the week. So obviously try and keep the rotation of the left hand to a minimum from setup to waist level. That will allow the club to stay square to the arc for longer and dispatch the ball a little bit lower and a lot straighter. Well done, look forward to working with you again soon.